languages. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, love it. And so on Varanasi, something really, I think, magical happened with me. Um, it was Christmas Day, and I love Christmas. I always loved Christmas. I was the only person, decorating a tree in Delhi, and people would look at me like. So it was Christmas Day, and I was sitting on the ghats on Assi Ghat, and there was this lady from London, and she was sitting next to me, and she had all those tattoos and everything. And I looked at her, and she had a tattoo right here, and I said, "Hey, nice tattoo." And she just started talking to me, and we got talking. I was telling her about like Leap and my project and everything, and I don't know what happened. She invited me to her hostel that night, and they had like a small Christmas party. So like people from all over the world were there. So there was a Spanish lady who came to Varanasi for 2 days, but she loved it so much that she stayed for 5 years. And all these people, so we were partying, and then Hannah, so like this lady I met, Hannah, she had a locket, and behind that locket was my name for some reason. And I was like, what? And she's like, my mother came to Varanasi when we weren't born, and she got this locket made here, and the artisan probably carved their name behind the locket. And so years later, when her mother died, she came to Varanasi as well to kind of explore, and we met. And then behind her locket was my name, and I was like, what? And then so years later, she opens an NGO in Varanasi on my birthday, and then we meet. And now I moved to London, and she lives nearby.
Oh,
Wow.
So
so that's how
I
like
don't know.
everything is
Encourage.
connected.
It was absolutely crazy. It was absolutely crazy, and she has a boat and everything here. And we got connected on Facebook later, and it was crazy, So just all these happening, always things happening every time. It's nice.
Yeah.
It
What
is
about you,
karmic, yeah,
Kritika?
it is.
I think you are on mute.
Kritika, you're on
You'll
mute.
have to
You need to.
Check. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I do get a chance. I think 4 years back, I went to Dubai. So it happened that way. Is like I had my younger sister in US, and we were thinking like "Zindagi na milegi dobara" types, right? So always engaged in work. I mean, house responsibilities and blah blah blah. Then it was like, I mean, we should get a chance to explore. I mean, we should live our life. We get life once, right? So all these things, like we were talking on phone, and then I planned, yes, I'm going to do it. And it happened. I went to Dubai. So it was my first and by date it last solo tour. So I was feeling like I am again back to my teens. I mean, I was on the seventh. I was flying with all the butterflies and all. It was, I mean, very different feel. So my family was my husband, my kids. You are going to miss us. So I was like, oh yeah, definitely, I am going to miss you. But honestly and truly, I didn't. I didn't.
I love your honesty.
So I mean, you are back to your school, college days. I mean, I did everything. I mean, I played games at the beach. I was sitting at the beach like till 3 in the morning. I did all those. I mean, those childhood things, right? So I played with the kids over there. I visited, but all the small places. Though I went to. I mean, I forget the name of that building. It's a tower. Uh, it's very famous tower in Dubai. So I wasted, I mean, I shouldn't say I spent 4-5 hours over there just to click a picture. So it was like all those girls are doing because they have to post on Insta or any social media. Then by end of the day, I was like, what I did just to click a picture. Then I said, yes, you are back to your college. It makes sense to spend 5 years to have a picture, to have a selfie. So, so everything like I explored. I mean, the club over there and the famous restaurant, and then beach. There is a very famous lane. Like I took rounds in the night. I mean, around 1-2 in the night. So I had a great time during those 4 days. And then when I came back and I was entering my house, I just pretend, yeah, I missed everyone. I didn't enjoy it much.
I love that so much. That is such a great story.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be, you can't say, you can't take that exit in some ways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking forward to have one more soon.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think we all
I think
need
all of
another
us are,
solo.
yeah.
And Gurleen, you need to do one maybe. I don't know.
Solo traveling,
Gurleen,
yeah.
I'll
I
follow
don't
you.
know.
You plan and execute. I follow you.
I don't know. So when I was in college, I used to be like very adventurous and very high on risk taking. So I think risk taking behavior also kind of goes down as you age. I don't know. I think that's a pattern that I see in a lot of people. So
I think Gurleen, it increases with your age. This is what my
really,
experience is. Yeah.
okay,
I
okay.
mean, today, if I think of, 10 years back or 15 years back, so I think I am in a situation or I am more confident to take the risk. I mean, I started my own business, I should say, within minutes. I started with my startup. I mean, in 5 minutes, I took the decision. Yes, I'm going to do it. So, I mean, with
Hmm.
age and with experience, you get more confident.
Yeah. But
This
that's
is
the
my.
thing. Yeah, that's the thing. In fact, I was listening to one of my friends, and she's a existential psychologist. And then
Mhm.
she suggested, and she was mentioning that there is sometimes that because of so much of anxiety or fear of failure, you kind of
Mhm.
develop this imposter syndrome where
Mhm.
you are not really confident and you fear judgment and you fear failure so much that you don't even want to try, right? So that
Mhm.
happens with me. So when it comes to somebody else's purpose, like I'm up for it and then I'm like really passionate and I will do this and that, but when it comes to my own work, then I am really like I'm freaked out. I don't even want to take that journey. So there's a lot of mental anxiety. What if
Yeah.
I fail? What if people judge me? What if people call me a loser? All these
Yeah.
kind of thoughts kind of cloud me, and then I can't like initiate something. So
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
what I mean. When you get young, older, I mean, you got experienced as well. So I think you are in a much safer position to take that risk. Because in earlier years, if I think about like 15 years down the line, so I it was because I am into my current profession out of my passion. I was thinking for the last so many years. But as you mentioned, like you always have a fear. You could be a failure, what others will say, right? So, but there comes a time, there comes a stage when you don't bother for others, and you think, yes, I'm going to do for myself. I have to do for myself, and I'm going to do it. And that day will come, and you will do
yeah.
it.
And Shruti
Yeah, you
and
know what?
Sakshi have been really inspiring me, by the way, with the solo
Yeah, and
adventures,
I think I completely agree with Pritika also. So what I realized is like, especially after this whole lockdown, and there's been so much activity on the, on all of these digital, social media platforms. You see, there's so many life coaches, so many therapists, so many trainers. Everyone's coming out with these, wonderful marketing strategies, and it is so intimidating. I mean, if you keep watching and following all of these things, it's like, oh my God, will I be good enough? That's a question that's naturally going to come to you. And I think we need to sort of stop ourselves from feeling that, because that way I think there's always going to be a million people who are better than you, who are doing bigger things than you, but the only thing that you can focus is on yourself, and no one can steal that away from you, right? I mean, it's your brain, your thoughts, your ideas. That's something that no one's going to take away from you. So whatever you create, you put your personality into it, your voice into it, and that way I think then there's nothing to be scared of.
Yeah,
Is my
actually, your self efforts are highly involved in that. I mean, it's your passion, it's your dream, it's your own project, right? So, this is what you are going for yourself only.
yeah.
So, I
And
mean,
because of
you
that,
are
yeah,
happy either way.
yeah. Because of
I
that,
mean,
I
if you
think
are not going to
perfectionism,
get
yeah,
successful, even then you are pretty okay. Because, yeah, yeah,
yeah. So
because
I
by
was
end of the
saying,
day, self satisfaction is there.
yeah, yeah, that is fine, but that is so difficult to like internalize into your system and then actually believe in it. And I'll
Mhm.
tell you, and perfectionism and need of control is also manifestation of anxiety, I believe. So a lot of times, because we want to cover our anxious thoughts or our anxiety, we do so much. We try to prove that okay, we are the best, and we try to make everything so perfect. And that what happens is we put a lot of stress to our own selves, right? In the process of perfectionism, in the process of controlling everything. So I think that is nothing but these are all manifestations of anxiety. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, so I think mindfulness and, like you said, some cognitive behavior therapies where you actually rationalize that, okay, you are good at it and you can't like beat everyone and there will always be someone better than you, and internalizing that message, that takes time. Yeah. So I think,
I
again,
think
it's work in progress for me.
one thing, so for me, I think I was born in that stage where I was always risk taking and didn't care what people think. And as I'm growing old, it's opposite for me. I'm getting less like that. I'm caring more about what people think, and I'm getting a little less impulsive, which I'm not necessarily liking. But I think something that you said, that you start being so perfectionist. So I was always like that. I always had leadership positions when I was growing up, and I was always very controlling of like wanted to do everything, being involved. But later, and I think that it took me only a couple of months, but it changed for me because I had very bad experiences in a leadership position, and I realized, I think the biggest thing for me that worked out was understanding your impact on others, you know. So not just on your anxiety and your fears, but understanding everything that you do. So like when you're being a perfectionist, how is it impacting people around you? How is it impacting your team? How is it impacting your family members? And then also when you're doing something great, so like with Leap, with my project, I didn't realize I'm doing something good enough. I always thought this project is, it's okay. It's just a start. It's just a blip in a big ocean. But it's only when people started coming back and saying it changed their life, or they found something that they never thought they would. It's only when I started understanding the impact that you realize what you have created. Never
Hmm.
before that. It
Right.
never, for 2 years I was doing it, I never realized what I have done. It's
Hmm.
only when people started coming back and saying, no, it
Yeah.
changed our lives.
I think
So I
small
think just
wins, yeah, like, yeah, focus on
small
small
wins.
wins and then you gradually increase the